Welcome to Tech Confidential. I'm Mary Kathleen Flynn with Behind the Money. I'm down at Google's offices in Chelsea in New York with David Unn, who's the Vice President of Content Partnerships. David, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for being here.
So an obvious first question is, what does that mean? What is your job all about?
It means that my groups are responsible for all the deals and management of relationships and alliances that we have with content owners around the world. So it includes three different types of content. The first is video, which today is YouTube. The second is print, which covers books, newspapers, magazines. And the third is a group that we call local, which includes all sorts of vertical information, product information, as well as mapping data for Google Earth and Google Maps.
And what about your role? How does it evolve as a deal progresses?
Well, so much of what we do involves working internally with our own colleagues in product and engineering once a deal is done to think about how we can create a great user experience, because we're absolutely religious about that at Google. But also thinking about how we address partner needs. So whether the partner is a content owner or an advertiser, we really try to think in a holistic way as the business people in the room of how to address their needs.
So thinking about Google Earth, how many different deals had to be put in place to make that product work? And is it ongoing?
So the best way to answer your question is that we do lots of deals, and we're constantly refreshing the content. So it's a continuous thing. It's not one particular deal or one big deal that we do. It's a series of continuing conversations and negotiations that we have worldwide for Google Earth. In the print area, just for Google Book Search alone, we have over 10,000 partnerships. And we also have deals with 28 different libraries around the world. So most recently we did a deal with the University of California Library Systems. So they're all working with us, Google Book Search. And we also signed with Cornell recently. At YouTube, we have thousands of partnerships there as well. So part of what we're trying to do is, and we can talk about this a little later, but part of what we're trying to do is create a sense of infinite choice for our users. So we have done deals with everyone from, let's say, all the major record labels and CBS and the NBA to individual users. We have a user promotion program where the most popular users can become part of a community that actually makes money and gets promotion, extra promotion for its content, to folks we have in the middle who are niche specialty content providers. And they range from the Sundance Channel and Howcast, which is a new startup in creating information and instructional content, to the schools like Princeton, to the World Bank and the American Cancer Society, et cetera. So we really think about large volumes of deals as opposed to big deals, because part of what we're trying to do is create as much access to information as possible.
So how do you prioritize? And how do you choose the properties that you're going to try to acquire or get the rights to?
It really depends on the product. We work with over 20 different products at Google. So if you take something like YouTube, for example, we start with the Google mission, as you know. So the mission is to organize the world's information and to connect users with it, to make it accessible and useful. So if our mission is to make content accessible and useful, we think very broadly about making deals with as many folks as possible. And so we tend not to actually prioritize in the same way that a network, a TV network might, because we don't make editorial decisions. We're not trying to program or pick hits per se. We're really trying to provide as much choice as possible for our users. So in terms of prioritization, the prioritization is frankly more on speed and coverage. So we have 19 different versions of YouTube now around the world. Most of our traffic is from outside the United States. So part of what I think we do is keep our eye on that ball as opposed to getting stuck in any one particular deal, because our users have come to expect a breadth of content as opposed to any particular type or source of content.